All right, joining us on Hot Copy this morning, we have with us former ICI Special Advisor, Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong. Mayor Magalong, magandang umaga po sa inyo.
Good morning, Karen. Good morning sa ating mga viewers. Benji na lang, Mayor Benji na lang.
At Mayor Magalong pa rin po tayo. Pero Mayor, so unang-una, kamusta po kayo matapos kayo mag-resign sa ICI? I want to ask you first, what have you been up to? How are you doing?
Well, alam mo, Karen, tuloy-tuloy pa rin naman yung pagdating ng mga iba't ibang mga impormasyon galing sa aming mga informants, lalo-lalo na sa mga mayors for good governance. Kaya ito, ina-archive namin lahat to at ito nga yung mga ita-turn over ko kay General Asurin. Two days ago, nag-meeting kami nila Secretary Vince Dizon at ni General Asurin para inihayag ko sa kanila lahat ng mga sistema na itayo ko sa ICI. At ito'y lahat ipapamahagi ko, i-turn over ko lahat kay General Asurin.
Okay, so si General Azurin ang pumalit po sa inyo. Tama ito, sir, no?
Yes.
Okay. Anong papel po niya kung binatikos kayo noon at sinabi hindi kayo investigador? Anong papel ni General Azurin?
Pati rin ako, nalilito ako kung ano talaga yung papel niya. Kasi kung special advisor lang siya, talagang very limited yung galaw niya. Kailangan talaga nandun pa rin yung kolatilya na investigator or lead investigator.
Oo. Okay. Now, looking back, what do you think happened? All right? The president appoints you. And then Undersecretary Claire Castro comes out with that press conference, right? Sinabi niyo na bastos kayo. Looking back, why did that happen? Parang ang investigador ng presidente pinaiimbestiga. Parang ganun po nangyari. What happened?
You know, you said the right word, Karen, Parang ako pa yung under investigation ngayon at parang ako pa yung akusado. Unang-una, nalito talaga ako na-confused talaga ako kung ano talaga yung plano nila. Pwede naman nila akong kausapin
Yeah.
Kung ano yung may kasalanan ba ako, may nagawa ba akong mali, o ipinatawag lang nila ako at sinabi sana nila sa akin, ito yung framework mo, yung dito ka lang gagalaw, o ito yung scope mo. Pero wala bigla na lang sila nagkaroon ng press con. And if you notice yung body language, it was a hastily arranged press con. Tapos makita mo yung mga nagtanong nga doon parang sa akin from a personal perspective talagang planted pa nga yung tanong na yun, lalo na yung below the belt na diskaya. Kaya nalulungkot ako na gano'n at na-delay. Alam mo, ang masama nun yung impact nun na biglang umatras yung mga nakausap ko na mga testing centers o yung material testing centers and standards. Pati ibang mga lawyers, sabi na ayaw na namin. Pati yung ibang ang PNP biglang nag-stand down. Nakakalungkot.
Oo. But do you have an explanation, I mean, to yourself, why suddenly there was, it's like it's like a 180-degree turn?
Well, alam mo, it doesn't take someone to have some sort of yung term natin na rocket science to really understand it. Isa lang ang message nun, stand down. Huwag ka na mag-imbestiga muna, parang ganun ang message dun So anong gamit ko? Ano yung value ko dun sa ICI, Kung wala rin lang naman akong karapatan para mag-imbestiga. So sabi ko nga I struck a nerve or probably several nerves. Kaya siguro bigla na lang akong pinahinto na ganun. And I heard na pati si Presidente was not aware Yun ang sinasabi sa akin Nagulat din daw siya Kaya ewan ko kung saan kumuha ng instruction nito si Yusek Castro.
So your sources tell you that the president did not actually order Yusek Castro to come up with that statement. I've always said when the PCO speaks, it's like they speak for the president.
Yes, oo. Pero ewan ko kasi it's very unlike the president. Kumbaga hindi ganun ang personalidad niya Siya talaga sasabihan ka niya Ganun kabait yung ating presidente. Pero for some reason, hindi ko alam kung ano nangyari. Kaya nagulat din talaga ako. Hanggang ngayon, nag-iisip palaisipan pa rin sa akin.
Okay. Now, your experience with the ICI, let's talk about it now in hindsight. what are the challenges that the ICI is facing right now with the way it is set up? And frankly speaking, there are only 3 commissioners. You were a special advisor. What are the challenges?
Alam mo, isa yun yung lack of support staff. Kasi nakita ko yun na bakit limited lang sa 30 ang personnel niya. Isa yun, yung lack of support staff. Second is, kailangan talaga marami pang investigators Yung structure talaga, kailangan, yung nga yung proposal ko noon kay Chairman Reyes na kailangan meron kaming supervising investigator sa Luzon, isa sa Visayas, dalawa sa Luzon pa lang, isa sa Mindanao, isa sa Visayas. Yung mga ganon, ano? Tapos yung contempt power, kailangan talaga meron din Hindi lang sapat yung yung subpoena. And another is dapat yung talagang yung namin, yung capability to really store yung huge amount of data na dumarating. Isa rin yun Kailangan namin ng IT support. So ang dami pa ang dami pa naming kasi na-overwhelm kami sa dami ng kasong dumarating at kailangan mo talagang you have to go out as an investigator, you have to really go out in the field. And then with that amount of knowledge that you were able to gather, kailangan i-brief mo yung ICI. Pero alam mo, talagang overwhelmed din ang members ay mga commissioners kasi araw-araw they have to, they have to interview. Tapos ang laki rin ng pressure, ang taas ng expectation. Kaya ang mahirap din ang trabaho talaga ng ICI, lalo-lalo na yung mga commissioners.
Okay, but give us an insight because the ICI invites resource persons, right? Pero ang problema, they aren't really speaking under oath. Paano nyo alam na hindi nagsisinungaling yung mga yun?
Karen, they're placed under oath.
They are, okay?
Sila,
So thank
yes,
you.
yes, opo.
Because
Meron.
I had to ask that because we can't see anything. We don't know what's going on inside. So they're placed under oath and then go on.
Yes, I cannot question the wisdom of the commissioners, if they decided na closed door. Pero ako na mismo nagsasabi, Karen, repeatedly, marami na ako interview nito na maayos ang pagtatanong, wala akong nakikitang deceptions, walang pretensions, talagang sincere lahat. Sila Justice Reyes, si Secretary Babes, at si SGV Rusing. Very sincere sila lahat. I don't see anything na nakikita ko na abnormal, unusual.
Okay, that's good to know. So how does the ICI approach an investigation? Do they do it per project basis? Halimbawa, do they focus on one project and then move from there to see the corruption from there? Because it's very difficult to approach it from a nationwide basis. You don't know who to hold accountable. How are they approaching the hearings?
Well, marami silang hearing sessions na ginagawa. I really do not know the strategy of the ICI, mga commissioners. I can only speak for my team. Now we're out there doing all of this, identifying yung mga high-profile na mga contractors, high-profile na mga cases. Hindi namin pwedeng imbestigahan lahat ng kaso sa isang probinsya dahil napakadami. This is nationwide. So ang ginagawa namin, ito yung mga imbestigahan lang muna natin per province kasi ito yung mga targets natin na high profile na mga contractors. Tapos lipat ulit tayo sa isa. Para at least makover natin itong mga high profile contractors. May file na kagad natin yung kaso. Tapos may coordinate na natin o collaborate with AMLAC para at least mahold na natin lahat yung kanilang mga assets. Ganun ang aming plano nun Yun ang framework na gagawin namin sa aming team.
Oo. But are you satisfied with the number of legislators that are being called? Kasi tama si Senator Ping Lacson ang sinabi niya, the original sin in all this comes from the legislators inserting amounts. It's their insertions. But people have said legislators aren't mentioned enough.
Yeah, I understand yung concern ni Senator Ping Nag-umpisa naman talaga yan sa insertions Ang masama kung yung insertions pinagkakitaan. Kasi sa nakikita ko, na pressure din to mga lawmakers na mag-insert kasi ang laki rin ng expectations sa kanila ng kanilang mga constituents. Like for example, mayors, governors, repeatedly, regularly going to their office asking for infrastructure projects. No? So, saan sila kukuha? 'Di ba? Kasi ganun na yung kalakaran eh na ang lawmakers ang nagbibigay ng mga infrastructure projects. For example, ako, lalapit ako sa kanila sa mga senators. Hihingi ako ng pondo para sa multipurpose building, sa mga kalsada. Siyempre, inaasahan ko at sila yung gagawa ng paraan para magkaroon ng pondo, coordinate with DPWH o kung sino-sino, DA or NIA. Naintindihan ko yan eh. Ang hindi maganda kung pagkakakitaan nila, let us say for example, a lawmaker defines, sasabihin niya, ito yung gusto kong contractor. Tapos hindi niya isusupervise yung project. Wala siyang pakialam, basta importante sa kanya, naibigay na niya. Sasabihin niya, hindi ko na pakialam, hindi ko na kasalanan niyo kung pumalpak yung project. Hindi ba constitutional and moral duty ng bawat lawmaker na to make sure that you have every public money is used to protect public interest, at the same time every peso is spent for the common good. Parang ganun dapat yun eh. Pero hindi, nangyayari sa iba, lalo-lalo na dyan sa Kongreso. No? Ang defense nila, binigay na namin sa DPWH eh. Gumawa ng kontrakto, wala na akong pakialam doon. Pero ang totoo lang, may sakwatan naman talaga, may conspiracy sila.
Pero how would you change the system? Sa ngayon, malinaw nga po no, na ang legislator, siya po ang nag-i-insert para sa projects and we've seen it. Clearly, pinagkakakitaan po nila. Yun yung sistema eh. Kaya ang lalaki ng insertions ng mga legislators. But how would you change the system so we would still have the infrastructure projects we need, because ang totoo talagang kailangan natin ang farm to market, kailangan natin ang flood control, 'di ba? Marami tayong kailangan na infra. How would you change the way infra is planned?
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Karen. Critical to mga infra projects. Kaya kan naawa ko kay Sec Vince kasi sa kanya, nafo-focus na yung attention niya doon sa investigation instead of, focusing on the infrastructure projects per se. Anyway, isa lang ang nakikita ko solution diyan, but easily said and done. Mag-stick lang yung mga lawmakers natin sa trabaho nila gumawa ng batas. Pero kakayanin ba nila? Another is you also have to change the mindset of the local government officials na hindi source ng funding ang mga lawmakers. Kaya talagang it takes a lot of people to tango eh. Itong na to, it's an ecosystem na nangyari. Kailangan basagin natin yun and challenge the status quo. Napakahirap gawin eh. Pero siguro that's the only solution na nakikita ko talaga. Stick to their functions and mission. Gawa lang sila ng batas.
Oo. Pero ang problema kasi sa laki ng ginagastos ng congressman at senador para tumakbo, right? We're hearing amounts, they're spending 500 million pesos or 300 million pesos to run. Parang syempre babawiin nila yun.
You are absolutely right. Actually, yung binanggit mo. Yes, Karen, actually binanggit mo kung pa understatement pa yun eh. Some of them are spending billions of pesos just to win. Iisa lang naman na rason dyan eh. Di ba sinasabi ko naman lagi, now that I am in politics, one thing that I learned, many of our politicians, elected officials, run because of MAP. Masarap ang pera talaga. Masarap ang posisyon, masarap ang power. Yan lang talaga ang rason nila. No? Kaya they are willing to spend so much para manalo sila. Papatayan pa nga yan, di ba? Kaya at the end of the day, it starts with the people, with the voters. It's all about choosing the right leaders. Yan ang lagi kong binabanggit eh. Choosing the right leader. Nakakalungkot isipin na with all these things that are happening now, and then after 3 years during the election, we choose the same people. Oh my God.
Pero yung sinabi po ninyo, ano ba yan? Is that a term that's used internally, MAP, masarap ang pera sa politika?
Hindi, natutunan ko yan sa mga taga-customs eh.
Really? Yun ang
Oo.
nila dito sa gobyerno, MAP, ganon. Dito sa gobyerno, MAP, ganyan.
Oo, ganun eh. MAP, sabi niya. Actually sa customs ang term nga diyan is MAP, masarap ang pera, dinagdagan ko na lang eh. Masarap ang power, masarap ang posisyon at higit sa lahat, masarap talaga ang pera. Kaya kita mo, it's all about greed.
Yeah.
Walang kabusugan, walang katapusan. Tuloy-tuloy ang pagnanasa nila. Kaya nga in English, sabi nga nila, man's desire is insatiable.
Yeah. Okay. Now, the ICI has invited former Speaker Martin Romualdez and Congressman Zaldico, who is abroad. We'll talk about the lookout bulletins later. But what is their accountability in all this? Kasi in the Senate hearings, the one witness who mentioned former Speaker Martin Romualdez has been discredited. Etong si Guteza. So now it's become very partisan. Ang iniisip ng tao, the Senate is protecting Romualdez. Parang gano'n na, gusto nila may hangganan lang. What are your thoughts? May pinoprotektahan ba ang mga hearings na ito, ang investigasyon?
Well, insofar as these ICI or the commissioners are concerned, they are out there to ferret out the truth.
Okay.
Kaya lang, ang problema kasi is kung very limited lang yung knowledge mo, ito lang ang itatanong mo, wala. Puro denial lang eh. Meron ka kaming inimbestigahan dyan na puro denial lang eh. At wala, maski na ano pang gawin mo, puro denial lang na denial. Para kang nakipag-usap na napakataas ng posisyon niya sa isang departamento. Para kang nakipag-usap sa isang janitor eh. Wala akong alam, wala akong alam, wala akong alam. Parang ganun, baka ka lang, frustrate ka na lang na paano naging nailagay ito sa pwesto na yun.
Oo.
I cannot just imagine na that's the way they run the department. Pero cannot do anything. Ganon din siguro talaga, frustration nila. Alam mo, pag humarap yung mga yan, puro denial lang yung mga yan eh. Unless meron kang matibay na ebidensya talagang pinanghahawakan na pwede mong ihampas sa kanila.
You know what? Zaldico is abroad, but is the ICI planning to call the other members of the Appropriation Committee when he was chairman?
And wala na akong kanyan. I'm not privy to that, Karen. I'm really very sorry. Kasi decision yan ng ICI.
When you were still a special advisor, what would the ICI do with the other? With what you've discovered? Nagpunta kayo ni Vince Dizon sa Mindoro. Ang dami niyong pinuntahan, right? La Union, di ba? Pumunta kayo. What would they do with the information that you would report to them?
Well, unang-una kasi expected din sa ICI na mag-file ng case.
Oo.
No? Hindi pwedeng hearing lang ng hearing. Kailangan may nakikita o nakapag-file na ba ang ICI ng kaso kasi isa yan sa mandate niya. Yun ang trabaho ko. So, ang ginagawa ko ngayon is I have my force multipliers. I have the entire ecosystem helping me. Let us say, for example, may kaso. Ito yung nakita naming anomaly, either ghost or substandard. We bring in the technical people. Ito'y private sector to na willing, na pro bono. Napakamahal na mga equipment nila but willing silang tumulong. And then after that, nandyan na rin yung CIDG and hopefully parating na rin yung NBI. We conduct the investigation. We prepare the case folders and the case folders are brought to itong mga volunteer na mga law firms na maggagaling na law firms. They review it.
Yeah.
Pag sinabi nila, okay na o ayusin nila, mag-uusap yung investigators, may kulang pa, ito pa, kailangan pa ito mga to, we have to produce this. Pag kompleto na lahat yan, then ako mismo kukunin ko, dadaling ko sa ICI.
Yeah.
And then the ICI files the case. Ganun ang sistema and sabi nga ni
Pero have they
Chairman
filed a case? Wala pa, no? They have not filed a case.
They have. And I turn over ko sa kanila yung Nauhan case.
Oo. So may
Nauhan
isa na, sir. May isa na?
At marami, yes, Juan Karen, meron na. At marami pang parating. Marami pa actually parating. Yun na sinabi ko nga kay Sec Vince at kay General Asurin na marami pang parating. Kaya nga ako nakikipag-ugnayan ng husto sa kanila para talaga ituloy-tuloy yung investigation.
Oo. Pero Mayor, when we say file a case, it means parang ang contractor na to nasampahan na ng kaso, ang mga taong to nasampahan ng kaso. And the only reason I want this clarified, because the last report I read was the DOJ is still doing case build-up on a list of individuals. So parang it seemed na wala pa talagang kasong nasampa. Meron na ba talaga, sir?
Meron yung SunWest sa Nauhan. Tapos alam mo
Okay.
marami pang testing na ginawa ang kwan doon. Nakiusap nga ako kay Secretary Vince na sabi ko, Sec Vince, pagkatiwalaan mo yung Bureau of Standards mo, I believe they're not at all involved. Tulungan, pagkatiwalaan mo sila and let them go out in the field and do their testing. Kasi sila makakatulong sa akin. We cannot simply rely on the private sector. Kasi konti lang itong mga to. Magtulungan lahat. Sabi niya, okay, sige, sige. Alam mo, dun sa Mindoro, kay Bondoro Oriental, hindi lang yung nauhan yun eh. Ang
Oh.
dami nung ano yun eh. Ang
Oo.
daming projects doon eh. Baka siguro kung isang dosena doon, napakaraming kalokohan doon.
Oo. And SunWest yun. SunWest yun.
Hindi lang. Iba-ibang kumpanya. Iba-ibang contractors.
Wow.
Nakakagulat nga ako na the same, yung mga visible na contractors na nakita natin, top 15, top 30, top 50, they're all over the place eh. All over
Yes.
the Philippines.
Oo.
Talagang
Oo.
pinagkakitaan talaga eh. Favorite
Yeah,
contract.
it's collusion. It's collusion eh. Ang nangyari, it's really naging sindikato ang gobyerno for lack of a better phrase, right?
Highly organized crime.
Right? Oh, highly organized crime na. Now, I want to ask you this. Zaldico was the founder of SunWest. Now, you have a congressman saying, of course, defending him, he's divested. And we know what divestment means in government, right? So he's divested. But who answers for SunWest? Like, for example, nung nag-imbestiga kayo sa Nauhan, ideally, dapat may pinatawag kayo from SunWest. Tinanong nyo.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. So,
sino po yun, sir? Presidente? Sino?
meron nag-take over pero kunwari na lang yun.
Oh, anong sagot po niya?
Kunwari na lang yun.
Oo.
Yes.
Pero bakit daw ganun ang steel sheets? Tinanong nyo yun. Kasi di ba yung steel sheets, natuklasan nyo na ang iksi-iksi.
Sheet pile.
Sheet pile. Was it supposed to be 12 meters?
May mga cases na sinasabi pa nga doon sa Pampanga 30 meters.
Oh.
Pero nung tinanong ko yung mga experts, sir, imposibleng pwedeng mag-embed ng 30 meters. That
Yeah.
is very impossible. Mga ganun.
So what did SunWest say? What was the explanation?
Wala, tahimik lang sila.
Wow.
Tahimik sila. Kaya nga ang pinakamagandang ebidensya talaga doon yung technical report
Yeah.
na substandards talaga siya.
Yeah.
At ganun, very consistent sila pagdating sa substandard.
Oo. So in terms of projects, ang ICI, kasi the proof, there's evidence the project is substandard, pwede ka talaga mag-file ng kaso, right? So pero ang kakasuhan lang dyan yung contractor. Paano yung legislator na binigyan ng kickback? Paano yung mga yun, Mayor?
Good question na Karen. Ano?
Oo.
Kasi nga wala naman silang pirma. Alam naman pumirma sila sa resibo. So, alam mo, kwan din eh. Pag alam na nila makukulong na sila.
Yeah.
Kasi ito mga kaso ipapile namin.
Oo.
Non-bail ito eh.
Yeah.
Makukulong sila. No?
Oo.
Hopefully magbago yung kanilang isip. Na alangan naman kami lang makukulong. Ganon din yung DPWH. Alangan naman kami lang makukulong. Magsasalita na kami. Yun ang pressure namin na ginagawa. Kaya nga puro unbailable talaga yung kasong ipapile namin sa kanila.
Okay. Now, usually investigations are targeted. You have
Yes.
you have some already, some critics, observers questioning, asking, what is the game plan? What is the end to all this? Some have described it as chaos, anarchy right now. You have 1.7 trillion pesos that got out of the Philippine stock market. The Philippine stock index is now below 6,000. Last I've read, I could be corrected for this. And you have stories abroad of the international international organization saying the Philippines reeks of corruption. Ano ba dapat ang katapusan nito? So it benefits the country. It has to benefit the Philippines.
Yes, Karen, it's very unfortunate na ganun nga yung naging reaction ngayon ng market. Because at the end of the day, it's all about economy. Yun ang tinitingnan ng tao. It's a trust issue. It's a trust issue. And I hope na with all these things that are being done by government, especially by this administration, it's all about building trust, regaining trust of the public. Pero ngayon, hirap na hirap eh. Hirap na hirap kasi maraming nakikitang parang inconsistencies eh. Na sana i-address nila. And
Oo.
hindi mo
What
kailangan
are those
magsinungaling eh.
inconsistencies? Can you name some? Mayor, what are the inconsistencies?
Well, katulad nito, nag-create tayo ng ICI, nag-create tayo ng, katulad ko, in my case,
Oo.
alam mo, hindi ko rin akalain na ganun ang backlash nun eh, yung ginawa kong pag-resign. Pero ang laki pa lang ng epekto nun. I was really surprised. Ang laki pa lang ng epekto. Ako nga, nalungkot ako na ganun pala. So, minsan, nagsisisi nga ako, bakit ako nag-resign to eh. Kasi nga, nakita ko na ang laki ng impact sa, looking from the perspective of someone who what I mean is, wants to do, I want to think for what is best for this country. Parang ganun eh. Pero hindi ko akalain na bumagal, ang laki ng epekto. Nalulungkot din ako kuminsan. Parang ako tuloy na ako konsensya rin ba? Pero, hindi ko rin alam eh. Bakit? Kaya, bakit kasi binigyan ako ng isang posisyon na well-defined naman yung trabaho ko. Bakit naman nila biglang papahintuin? Hindi ko maintindihan talaga eh. Hindi ko talaga maintindihan.
Okay, so that's one. That's an inconsistency for you. What else?
Well, siguro yung how fast yung in terms of decision making. Sana mabilis ang decision making. I really don't know why there was so much delay dito sa pag-create ng ICI.
Okay.
From the time that the president came up with a pronouncement. Diba? Isa rin yun. Sana nakita ko siguro may mga issues na nire-resolve. I heard na maraming nag-decline sa position ng ICI. Kaya siguro nagkaroon ng delay. Pero syempre that also impacted yung trust ulit. Bakit nade-delay? Bakit napakabagal since the time na nagsalita si Presidente? Siguro mayroon talagang reason talaga rin. May valid reason din ang ating
Okay.
Presidente.
Now, I interviewed former Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales, and she said what she finds inconsistent is, at this point, Malacanang or the president could already order the cancellation of Zaldico's passport. So even the former speaker, Martin Romualdez, could have ordered that, but they didn't. So ang pananaw ni Morales, the former ombudsman, is in effect, they're really protecting Zaldico para hindi umuwi.
Ako, naniniwala ako dyan, Juan. Sa akin naman is, it's more on the impact on former Speaker Romualdez. Sa tingin ko, mismo si Speaker Romualdez, ayaw niya umuwi si Zaldico. Kasi otherwise, siya lang talaga makakapag-implicate sa kanya eh. Kung paano yung sistemang ginawa nilang dalawa. Pero hindi ko rin alam, mayroon pa namang ibang mga congressman din yan na alam din nila yung kanilang sistema eh. Nandiyan din yan sila Congressman Garjola, nandiyan pa rin yung sila Congressman Don Gonzales, sila yung alam mo yung mga malalapit na, may circle yung mga yan eh. Nandiyan sila Congressman Dalipe, sino pa yan? Si Congressman Jojo Ang, yan. JJ Suarez. Marami pang nakakaalam eh. Marami pa alam.
Ang maghirap lang sa ICI, and it's good we're talking about this, even if they mean well, ang maghirap is among the three of them, nobody's ever been a politician, and I don't mean that there should be a politician, but nobody knows the inner workings of Congress. Yun ang maghirap. Because all of those are, right? Hindi nila alam paano ang kalakaran sa Kongreso.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, I think tama. You hit the nail there,
Oo,
Karen.
so, di ba, parang like Rogelio Singson, extremely upright, but he's a professional, private sector, and DPWH secretary. So, iba yung expertise niya. The other commissioner is accounting, right?
Yes,
More or less accounting. And the head of the commission is legal. But nobody really knows how insertions are put in. Wala sa kanilang may alam.
Yes, so it's a sharp curve, learning curve sa kanila talaga eh. Pag nag-uusap naman kami, talagang kita mo talaga rin yung, yung kanilang desire to really learn fast. Pero alam mo, napakabilis din nung sitwasyon kasi at
Oo.
ang malaking pressure dito, Karen, is the expectation.
Yeah.
Expectation ng tao na, o bakit wala pang nakukulong? Hindi nila kuminsan naiintindihan na may proseso. Na akala mo pag final mo na sa ombudsman, meron na dapat makulong. O kaya on orders of ICI, dapat makulong na. Yun ang
Oo.
hindi ko minsan naiintindihan eh. Yung isa rin yun sa mga pressure sa ICI.
Oo. Okay. Now, do you believe, if I were to ask you before we go to a quick break, if you were to make a suggestion who the ICI should call, because they've already called the former speaker, and I know they've called Budget Secretary Pangandaman, pero who else should they call?
Ah,
You've mentioned some congressmen. I found that interesting.
yan.
That's true. Because nakalimutan yun, ha? Nakalimutan lahat yung mga taong yun.
So far so good, sabi nga nila, hindi kami napapansin eh. Pero dapat sila pansinin na eh. Kasi sila yung nasa inner circle eh. Sila naman nakakaalam eh.
Mm.
Ah, o nga, malaking bagay talaga si Congressman Toby as a resource person din. Malaking bagay din yung talagang naipamahagi niya sa amin.
Mm. Mm.
Um, Siguro yung mga nabanggit kong tao na yun, pwedeng balikan yung mga yon. Pati yun, yung sipon yung Gabonada, isa rin yan, sa may alam yan. Pero syempre, complete denial din yan. Marami pa eh, marami pang dapat tawagin na Juan, Karen, na nakakaalam talaga yung mga, kumbaga, mga unwritten laws, unwritten something dyan sa loob ng Kongreso. Eh. Kasi ang daming scheme, ang daming permutations dyan eh.
So Mayor Magalong, one of the resource persons that the ICI is calling for is Zaldico, but he is abroad. He was the chair of the Appropriations Committee during the 19th Congress when the 2025 budget was mangled and, as they said, no, abused. In the absence of Zaldico, who do you believe should they call?
Well, ako siguro kailangan isa sa mga imbitahan nila dyan si Congressman Stella Kimbo, former Stella Kimbo, or former Congresswoman. No? Isa yan. Alam mo nga, nagulat nga ako na I saw a document na sa DOH, yung MAIP funds, yung medical assistance to indigenous patient. Di ba dapat lagi yung equitable distribution? Ano? But surprisingly, meron siyang 300 million na nakuha, na-allocate sa kanya. No? Ganun sila ka-powerful. Another is, nakikita
But
ko
is
na
that accurate, Mayor? The document that you have, is that accurate? You're saying that former Representative Kimbo got 300 million for ayuda?
Yes, MAIP funds. Oo.
Okay.
Nakita ko yun. Siguro subject to validation, pero nakita ko yun eh. Nagulat ako kasi hindi mo pinag-usapan natin dito, dapat equitable eh. Pero hindi equitable yun eh. Another is siguro isang magandang imbitahan nila dyan si Congressman Eric Yap. Former
18th.
head of appropriations committee
Oo.
prior to Saldico during the time of PRRD.
Tama.
Siguro isa rin siya kasi marami siyang alam eh. And I hope na willing siyang to spill out everything eh. How things are being done.
Oo. Okay. All right. And the ICI hasn't gone that far.
At alam mo, ang dami kasi nilang ang dami rin, alam mo, ang sabi ko nga sa iyo, overwhelmed din sila eh.
Okay.
Pagod sila, gusto nila makuha talaga yung mga, kailangan nila makuha yung mga top sa DPWH, yung mga top na mga lawmakers talaga na talagang involved talaga. Alam naman namin kung sinong involved eh, kaya lang problema kasi the issue of really establishing the facts and at the same time providing all the necessary evidence to establish a case. Strong case.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you this. There are fears that the ICI will be selective. For example, ang tanong ng ilan, bakit ang Ilocos Norte hindi tinitignan ang mga proyekto doon?
Well, hindi naman ganun, Karen. In fact, isa yan sa mga tinitignan namin ni Sec Pinston eh. Na ang visit namin sa pagbisita sa mga iba't ibang mga proyekto is pupunta kami sa norte, punta kami sa south, balik uli kami sa norte, punta uli kami sa south, punta kami sa Visayas. Yun ang kwan eh. Yun ang gagawin naming mga inspection eh. Subject also to the availability of SecBin, siyempre kasi busy rin siya. No?
Oo. Pero hindi kayo umabot ng Ilocos Norte because I think it would have been it would have had an impartial demeanor if the first projects to be investigated were the president's province or district, or let's say Congressman Sandro Marcos, because they need to set the example.
Well, alam mo kasi, Karen, marami rin kaming kwan eh. May mga reports din kasi kami nakikita eh, na pinapadala sa amin eh, na mga projects sa Ilocos Norte. Meron din sa South din, sa Davao area. Meron din.
Oo.
Sabi
So hindi
ko,
kayo umabot, hindi kayo nakaabot.
wala na kasi nag-resign na nga ako eh.
Oo. Oo. But do you believe that they should investigate those two?
Oo naman, kailangan talagang wala dapat entitlement eh. Mismo na nga, sabi nga ni Presidente eh, na walang sacred cows dito eh. Wala dapat kamag-anak, wala dapat kaibig-kaibigan eh. Kailangan talagang to get to the bottom of all of these anomalies eh. Kaya yun ang pinanghahawakan namin na talagang pwede namin gawin lahat ang dapat namin gawin. Basta alam namin na walang maayos without fear or favor.
Okay. Because without fear or favor, because the perception of some is this only goes as high up as Zaldico. That's it.
Well, insofar as the ICI is concerned, hindi naman ganun eh. Pag nag-uusap kami, hindi ganun eh. Kung sino dapat ang managot, dapat managot eh. At kung sino talaga yung mga high profile na managot, dapat sila talaga ang makukuha eh. Kailangan yun ang yun dapat ang focus eh. Kasi useless lang yan kung dito lang sa baba, walang impact yun. Ang ma-impact is talaga ma-identify kung sino talaga yung involved sa taas pa ni Asaldico. Alam naman natin kung sino. Pero wala naman si Saldico. Sinisigurado si Saldico na huwag kang babalik.
Okay, I think we have a few minutes left, so I want to give this opportunity to talk about this, right? So in Baguio City, kasi sinabi niyo sa Senado, pinapalabas pa nila, korap ako ay dyan, mag-aaway na tayo. Itong tennis court na ito, because it's coming out that the Discayas, frankly, have projects all over the Philippines, right? They were so big that they had projects all over the Philippines. So unang-una, yung doon sa Baguio City na tennis court na ginawa ng St. Gerard po ba? St. Timothy?
St. Gerard.
St. Gerard, all right. What was the status? Because I saw the page of Baguio City and it was being reported. May progress report even before the scandal. Naglabas ang Baguio City ng progress report. So,
Yes.
ang tanong ko lang, inimbestigahan nyo ba? Substandard ba yun?
Hindi, ang structure hindi substandard. Yung finishing. In fact, ang gumawa pa nga ng finishing nun, Procourt eh. Isa yan sa well-known and strongly recommended by the Tennis Association ng Baguio. So yun ang recommenda namin dun sa St. Gerard eh, na siyang piliin. And by the way, ang ginawa ng St. Gerard, pinasubcontract yun eh. Pinasubcontract yun eh. Kaya galit na galit nga ako nung kaya lang, syempre, pag pinasubcontract na, nag-umpisa na, tuloy-tuloy na.
Tuloy mo. Yeah.
Tuloy na. Kasi otherwise, pag pinahinto mo, naku, madidelay na naman yan. Kaya tinutukan namin mabuti yan.
Oo.
Meron din kami, nagkaroon din kami ng...
This was 2022.
Yes, nanalo yan through bidding. And alam mo, Karen, nung January, dapat tapos na yan eh. Hindi natapos ng St. Gerard o yung subcontractor. Kaya ang ginawa namin, penalize namin.
Oh.
As early as January, alam mo ba ang liquidated damage nila since January this year? Umaabot na ng 6 point something million pesos.
Okay. Did they pay? Did they pay?
Yes. Madali namin makuha yun kasi may utang pa sila sa amin. Hindi pa kami binabayaran na 27 million eh.
Oh, wow.
Ang laki pa ng sisingilin nila sa amin eh.
Oh.
Kaya enough talaga na ayusin talaga nila at hindi namin talaga sila babayaran eh. Alam mo, tinakot ko na nga na kung hindi pa kayo pumunta rito kasi nagalit na ako doon sa subcontractor at naubusan na rin ng pera. Kaya sinabihan ko na kung hindi kayo pupunta rito kay St. Gerard dito, I'm going to terminate you, I'm going to blacklist you. So natakot sila, nagpunta sila rito. Ang problema, inapulan nila, dahil nga nakita nilang nagagalit na ako ba, hindi pa tapos yan, inapuran nila, even during the rainy weather, rainy season, pinaspasan nila. Kaya yun talaga yung nangyari. Tuklap-tuklap. Kasi nga, yung moisture, hindi nila inayos mabuti. Natakot, pati Procourt. Kaya talagang ito ngayon, i-review namin. Today is our meeting with Procourt para explain nila sa amin ano ba yung methodology na ginawa nyo at akala namin magagaling kayo pero bakit ganyan ang nangyari dyan sa yan, tennis court. Pero yung structure, talaga, may integrity talaga. There's no doubt.
Oo.
Maganda talaga yung structure. Is the finish.
Yeah. Pero paano to? Sino magtatapos po nun?
Ay tinatapos nila. St. Gerard na.
Sila pa rin.
Ang dami nilang tao ngayon. Ang dami nilang tao.
Oo,
At nakiusap sila sa amin na hanggang December aayusin talaga nila. Kaya okay lang. Kasi nagbabayad naman sila ng liquidated damages. 20,000 plus every day.
Oo. Ideally kasi dapat ganyan ang behavior ng LGU at ng contractor. 'Di ba? Parang binabantayan, tapusin mo pag let's say substandard imbestigahan, call the contractor, right? Na ayusin mo to. Hindi yung pinabayaan like those areas you visited.
Yes, oo. Nabayaran. Ghost na bayaran.
Oo,
Kaya
oo.
nagtataka nga kami. Paano nabayaran?
Yeah.
3 years lang nabayaran. At isa pang palaisipan namin is, so anong ginawa ng COA?
Yeah, yeah. But also the LGU. What about also the involvement? The proactive, being proactive of the LGU.
Tama yun, Karen. Ano? Dapat yun, initiative ng LGU na alamin. Ano yung
Pakialam
projects?
ka. Oo. 'Di ba? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, sir, just to end, no, I think, given your experience, how would you want, if you were to give, I guess, your last word on essentially what you want to happen, the outcome of all of this, what would it be? Or ang panawagan mo kay Pangulong Marcos Jr.?
Well, siguro ang isang gusto kong banggitin dito is about truth. Lagi nga natin binabanggit yung, di ba, may proverbial saying na the truth will set you free. You know? Siguro yan ang, the truth builds trust. Sa umpisa, mabigat yan, masakit. Pero we just have simply to deal with it. But what important is, the only way you will be able to build the trust. At napakabait ng ating presidente. Napakabait ng ating presidente. Sometimes siguro kailangan karoon din siya ng kamay na bakal talaga. I saw really the kindness of the president. Kung gaano siya kabait at gaano siya ka-considerate. Pero sometimes, presidente ka, dapat may kamay na bakal. So please don't take any offense, Mr. President, pero I remember your words na you're there to redeem the name of your father. So I hope in the next 3 years or the remaining years, you'll be able to achieve that.
All right. On that note, Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong, thank you, sir, for joining me today.
Thank you very much, Karen.
Thank
Take
you.
care.